Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our WCW What If series in TEW 2020. It is, of course, the night after Spring Stampede 1997, where we had uh, really the first time we've seen like that much weakness in the New World Order since they've come here, as we had the United States Championship lost by the New World Order to Dean Malenko. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't watched Spring Stampede 97, you should definitely go back and watch that first. But we also had a lot of fantastic matches on that show, including our two best matches of this series so far, and so much more crazy stuff that happened on that show, which we'll kind of go over as tonight's Nitro plays out. But of course, we have the big tag team title main event, as it will be Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman of the New World Order defending their tag team titles against Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes here tonight on Nitro. We jump into the action in front of 13,951 people at the United Center with the New World Order having a video. This gets an 85 rating, my God. New World Order with a video where they're just kind of laughing about the fact that, that the Bret Hart is still your world's heavyweight champion. Bret says that Paul Levesque, he lost the U.S. title, but that's all right. That's all right because he can get it back, and there'll be no problem at all. He will get that championship back. And as for tonight, Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman will still be your tag team champions after the show, because the New World Order simply cannot be stopped. They may have hiccups here and there, but they cannot be stopped. They're taking over here in WCW, and they are going to bury this company for good. So kind of some strong words there, but yeah, 85 rating, not bad at all for these people involved. Especially since Jerry Lynn performed poorly in the segment, but that's all right. 85, I will take it. Then we have a promo here from Roddy Piper where he does announce that that last night, thanks to the Horseman, Eddie Guerrero has been injured and will be out of action for some time. It's an 80 rating here. Yeah, that was kind of our way of writing off Eddie Guerrero for a hot minute. It's not that I don't want to keep pushing Eddie. This is all storyline based, really. I have some plans story wise, and so I need Eddie to be written off to continue what I have planned story wise. So Eddie Guerrero's gonna be out for some time. It's kind of one of those undetermined amount of times kind of thing. We're not sure how long he's gonna be out for, but he's gonna be out for an undisclosed amount of time. So we'll have to see what happens with that. As of course, we did see his leg get basically Pillmanized last night at Spring Stampede thanks to the Horsemen. Then, our opening contest here on Nitro is for the Television Championship. And it features Brad Armstrong defeating Sexton Hardcastle in 7:38 by pinfall with a Russian leg sweep. Brad Armstrong making defense number 6 of the World Television Championship, 63 rating. Not too bad there. 65 from Armstrong, 36 from Sexton Hardcastle, who put up an effort but was unable to get the victory. So Brad Armstrong, defense number 6 of his Television Championship. After the match, Brad Armstrong and Medusa are celebrating when they get attacked from behind by Marcus Bagwell and Marika Yoshida. The two members of the Horsemen are beating down Armstrong and Medusa and leaving them laid out. So it looks like Bagwell is targeting the Television Championship. We'll have to see if he can get the job done against Brad Armstrong and go from there. 55 rating, not the greatest start to the storyline, but that's all right. We gotta keep building them up somehow. So there you go. We'll have Armstrong and Bagwell going at it for the Television Championship in the near future, with obviously Medusa and Yoshida being involved with that as well. Then, in an 83 rated segment, we have Booker T absolutely furious about what happened last night on Spring Stampede. Of course, if you didn't watch it, you should definitely go back and watch it. But of course, Stevie Ray feigned an injury and had a replacement in Meng, show up, and then Meng was actually able to defeat Booker T thanks to Stevie Ray producing a lead pipe that ended up hurting Booker and allowing Meng to get the victory. Booker is absolutely furious here, and he says that if this is how his brother wants to play, then he'll take it to the streets, he'll take it to Harlem. He will make his brother pay for what he's done. So 83 rating here. Very strong stuff from Booker T. And we'll have to see what ends up happening with those two in the near future. After that, a 100 rated segment. Let's go. As Sting comes down to the ring. And Sting says that, you know what? Last night you got me. You got me. I let myself fall victim to one of the oldest tricks in the book. I let myself fall victim to the ally of my opponent coming out and helping cost me the victory. So I hope you're happy with yourself, Jericho. I hope you're happy with the fact that you, in the record books, got a victory over me, but really, as we all know, it was tainted. It was cheap. You couldn't actually get the job done against me without having to use underhanded tactics to get the victory. So I'll tell you what. How about we do this again? Because really, even though you got the victory, nobody here in this arena believes that you got a victory. Nobody out there watching on television believes you got the victory. So how about we do this again, so that way this time you can actually try to earn the victory fairly. Jericho comes out, big old smile on his face, and he says, I don't know what you're talking about, Sting. The match ended with you passed out in the Lion Tamer and me getting my hand raised in victory. I don't know what you're talking about anybody else being involved in the match or any weapons being involved in the match or anything like that. I have no idea what you're talking about. I think you're just jealous of the fact that Chris Jericho is the present and future of WCW and that Chris Jericho defeated Sting. So I'm not going to accept your challenge. I have no reason to face you again. There's no reason for me to face you again. So you go ahead and you shake hands and be all happy and joyful for these fans. Meanwhile, I am going to move on to better things and better competition than you could ever be. You has been. And Jericho walks off as Sting just stands there looking kind of emotionless there. And there you go. 100 rated segment is Sting issues a challenge to Jericho and Jericho refuses. Jericho says, no, I'm not going to accept your challenge. Then after that, in a short little matchup here, just under 6 minutes, Too Cold Scorpio defeats Shane Helms in 5:48 by pinfall with a diss that don't miss. 73 rating for the match. 76 from Scorpio, 48 from Shane Helms. Honestly, this was really just let's get Too Cold Scorpio a victory on Nitro. I have plans for him, but at the moment they're not going to be playing out. I have to wait for some other plans to finish up first. So at the moment it's just kind of he's just kind of lingering there. He's just kind of there. We'll have to see what happens with that. So Too Cold Scorpio gets a victory here to a 73 rating. Then after that, we have an interesting little segment that gets an 82 rating as Roddy Piper's backstage in his office talking to Stevie Ray. And he says that he is absolutely disgusted. He's done some things in his career, so he can understand Stevie Ray doing all this stuff. But that's his brother, man. Like, Piper has had no problem backstabbing and cheating his way through the wrestling business, but he wouldn't do that to his own brother. How pathetic can you be, Stevie? And also, the fact that you were supposedly injured, but then you did all that. No, you're not injured. In fact, nobody here at WCW's heard of you being injured. So next week on Nitro, you're going to go one-on-one with your brother, Booker T. And this is when we hear it clearing in the throat, and camera pans over to see Missy Hyatt. Missy Hyatt making her return to WCW after being away for a while. She was in rehab. And she's standing there hands over some paperwork that she was holding. Piper looks it over and says, "What the hell is this?" And Hyatt says that as Stevie Ray's new lawyer, her client will not be competing against Booker T anytime soon, because until he has been medically cleared, he will not be competing here in WCW. Piper's like, but he is medically cleared. There hasn't been anything. And Hyatt's like, look at the paperwork. The paperwork says that the doctor has not cleared him. So Ray and Hyatt walk off as Piper is just annoyed by this. Gets an 82 rating. So there you go. So Missy Hyatt is now managing Stevie Ray as his lawyer, I guess. And we'll have to see where things lead from there. But apparently Stevie Ray is too injured to be wrestling anytime soon, according to whatever paperwork was provided there. Then after that, Women's Championship on the line. 44 rating as Megumi Kudo defeats Kayo Naomi in 802 by pinfall to Kudo Driver, making defense number 6 of the Women's Championship, the Women's World Championship, that is. 60 from Kudo, 37 from Naomi. 44 rating for the match itself because, the crowd doesn't care. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care about the crowd not caring. The fact that Kudo's doing 60 in-ring performances and she still isn't popular enough. Not only is she doing 60 in-ring performances, but she's also associated with Dean Malenko, who's red hot right now. She's been red hot. So the fact that she still isn't popular enough for the fans to care that much is just ridiculous. But there you go. Making defense number 6 of the Women's World title as she continues to have a impressive reign with that championship. Speaking of championships, Roddy Piper then has a video here. This is one of those pre-taped things, so he's not showing the frustration that he did just a little bit ago with Stevie Ray. But this is a pre-taped video that says that Piper has been excited about the way that the Women's World Championship has been here in WCW. Well, I mean, Kudo's been looking great, and there's been great matches for that championship. So he says that why not add another championship here in WCW? Why not bring in the Cruiserweight Championship? The Cruiserweight Championship that will be fought for at Slamboree 1997. What kind of match is it going to be? What's going to happen with it? You'll just have to wait and see. So it is official. The WCW Cruiserweight Championship will become a thing. We're not sure what kind of match it's going to be, but yeah, we're going to have that going. Obviously, we have a few different championships now, as it is. But so I wanted to introduce the Cruiserweight title. I've been wanting to do it for a little bit now, but I wanted to kind of give it a little bit of time for the Women's World title to have, kind of its new shine, so to speak. But it's been around for 5 months now. So, well, 4 or 5 months. So I figured it'd be a good time to introduce the Cruiserweight Championship. And so there you go. So, Cruiserweight Championship will be on the line at Slamboree. Who's in the match, what kind of match it is, all that kind of stuff is unknown at this time. But it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with that. Then after that, Alex Wright actually gets interviewed by Gene Okerlund, and Alex Wright actually says that he's excited about the idea of the Cruiserweight Championship. He wants to talk to Piper because he wants to throw his name in the hat for that title. He says that things didn't go his way at Spring Stampede, but he wants to rebound. He is a former television champion, and he wants to get gold back around his waist again. So he's going to go talk to Piper and see what he needs to do to get into that title matchup at Slamboree. So there you go. Potential first participant in the match. I mean, we'll have to see if there's like qualifiers or if it's a tournament or what it is. But Alex Wright is interested in the new Cruiserweight Championship, so we'll have to see where things go from there. 65 rating though. That's really good for an Alex Wright promo or Alex Wright interview there. So good stuff there. Then after that, Diamond Dallas Page comes out, says that he's disappointed in himself. He couldn't get the job done against the Giant at Spring Stampede. He knows he could have. He knows he was just, one split second away from being able to hit the Diamond Cutter and get the victory, but he didn't have it on him. He didn't have it in him on that night. But he says that if the Giant thinks that he's going to be done with Page anytime soon, that he's going to be sadly mistaken. That he wants another match with the Giant. Giant comes out, stays on the stage, and simply says, "No, I have other things to. I'm going to go focus on other things," and just walks off. So Giant does not care about having a rematch with Page. Page clearly going to try to do whatever he can to get that rematch to happen. We'll have to see where things go from there. It gets an 89 rating for the segment. Good stuff there. And we go from there. We have a tag team matchup in which Al Snow and Raven defeat the Outlaws in A41 when Raven pins William Weston with an even flow DDT. 72 rating for the match. 63 from Raven, 66 from Al Snow, 55 from Brett Smith, 57 from William Weston. The fact that Al Snow just got a 66 in-ring performance is pretty awesome, honestly. Like, before he was getting like 50, so a 66 is kind of crazy. 72 rating for the match, though, as Al Snow and Raven get a kind of an easier victory over an established tag team here in WCW, so kind of a big deal for them there. Afterwards, so Al Snow and Raven are celebrating when Johnny Bad shows up, races to the ring, crowd's going crazy. He gets in the ring, looks like he's getting ready to fight them. Raven just puts his hand up. And says, "You see the truth now. Don't let yourself be confused." Johnny Bad just kind of stops, looks around a little bit. And this is when the Bad Babe comes out, and she gets in the ring, and she's kind of saying, "Hey, Johnny, like, get them, like, fight them. Like, this is, they've been tormenting you for weeks now, whatever." And Bad just kind of looks around and then just leaves the ring. He just leaves the ring and walks to the back. So the Bad Babe goes after him as Raven just kind of smiles there. So whatever the hell that Raven and Al Snow have been putting in the head of Johnny B. Bad over the last few weeks clearly is interesting, because Johnny B. Bad had no problem attacking Raven or attacking Al Snow last night at Spring Stampede, but apparently when Raven gets involved, Bad stops what he was doing. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but very interesting stuff as this gets a 69 rating. Then we have Gene Okerlund interviewing Owen Hart backstage. Owens expresses disappointment in not being able to get the job done against his brother last night at Spring Stampede in that world title matchup. But he says that he knows that he took his brother to limits that Brett hasn't been to in years, and that he's going to he's not going to come out here and demand a rematch. He's going to do what he needs to do to earn that rematch so that he can challenge his brother once again, and this time defeat him. So Owen just kind of, admitting the defeat last night, but says that he's going to kind of do what he can to get himself another shot at the WCW World Heavyweight Championship and another shot against his brother. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening for him. Get to 75, it's not too bad. Then we have an interesting little segment where Vader is on screen, and he says, "I'm done." He picks up his bags and he leaves the arena. Apparently, he's done. He's leaving WCW. Apparently, I guess that's what it kind of seems like with him saying, "I'm done." So Vader's apparently leaving. Yeah, very surprising stuff. Peeling back the fourth wall, or the curtain here a little bit, to expose the fourth wall a little bit. Vader's contract was up. I got into a bidding war with All Japan, and they were willing to offer him too big of a deal compared to what I was trying to offer him. Like, it was the offer that they gave him was way too much for what I thought he should be getting. Not that he's not a good talent at this point. He was still churning out great in-ring performances. But it was too much and too long for what I was willing to pay. So he's going to All Japan, which is why he took the clean lost to Ron Simmons last night and why he's leaving now. He's actually gone in, I think, 4 or 5 in-game days, so he's basically gone. He'll be gone by next week's Nitro. So we just did this to kind of write him off. So Vader is leaving WCW, and there you go. We'll have to wish Vader the best in his future endeavors, if you will. There you go. So Vader rides off into the sunset. After that, a 100 rated segment as Brian Pillman has a microphone backstage. I guess not microphone. He's standing in front of a camera backstage. And he talks about how Cactus Jack tried to give everything he had against him last night, but he couldn't get the job done because Brian Pillman is the best wrestler in WCW today. And the only reason he's not being recognized as such is because he doesn't have that WCW World Heavyweight Championship around his waist. But he has the World War III title shot. He can challenge for that championship at any point in time. And between you and me, he kind of leans into the camera a little bit. He's like, between you and me, that's going to happen sooner rather than later. So hopefully Brett shines that title up and holds it tight, because Brian Pillman's coming for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and there's nothing Bret Hart's going to be able to do to stop him, to stop me. So there you go. Pillman kind of expressing that he's coming for that world title. He's he's been teasing it for a while now. Of course, he has that title shot, and now he's kind of expressing, he's like, I'm coming. I'm focusing on the title. I'm going to focus my attention on getting the championship. So that's going to be interesting. Brett's going to have to really be careful, because Brian Pillman, we've been seeing, he's been doing fantastic over the last few months. So it's going to be kind of hard to say that he's going to be able to that Brett's going to be able to stop him, but we'll have to see what ends up happening. And then our main event gets holy cow, it gets a 93 rating. In a superb matchup, I don't like the idea that was submission, but whatever. In a superb matchup, the New World Order defeat Dustin Rhodes and Steve Austin 13-39. When Waltman, we're going to say pin, because I don't like the idea of it being submission. When Waltman pinned Dustin Rhodes after interference from Steven Regal, Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman make it defense number 7 of the World Tag Team titles. 93 rating. Austin with a 97. Dustin Rhodes with an 86. Sean Waltman with a 71. Jerry Lynn with a 75 in-ring performance. My God, how much have we built him up? Good Lord, I keep saying it every single time, but my God. At the start of this series, Jerry Lynn was getting like 40 in-ring performances, if that, and now he's at a 75 in-ring performance in a match against Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes. Lack of psychology on display in the match, that's what it is. But still, a successful defense for the New World Order, thanks to Steven Regal interfering. Number 7 defense of the World Tag Team titles. Afterwards, in an 87 rated segment, Rhodes and Austin are beaten down by Jerry Lynn, Sean Waltman, and Steven Regal. Eric Bischoff and your world champion Bret Hart comes out. Eric Bischoff shakes Regal's hand. Bret shakes Regal's hand. And then Eric Bischoff hands Steven Regal a NWO t-shirt. Regal smiles and puts it on. Steven Regal has defected from WCW and has joined the New World Order. You've got to be kidding me. 87 rated for the segment. Steven Regal has joined the New World Order. And the 5 members of the New World Order, now 5, stand over Dustin Rhodes and Steve Austin laid out in the ring to end Nitro. So there you go. Turns out that we found out what the deal is recently with Regal and the New World Order. Apparently Regal's joining them. So another defection from WCW to the New World Order, as of course If you remember, Jerry Lynn originally started as a member of WCW and then was the person who apparently let Waltman, Levesque, and Bret Hart in. And then, of course, Bischoff revealed that he turned his back on the WCW to join the New World Order, and now Steven Regal's joined it. So there you go. Steven Regal has joined the New World Order. A very interesting group that the New World Order is right now. Now, before everybody starts freaking out, let me go ahead and finish the show here real quick. It's a 92 rating. I'll take it. Before everybody starts freaking out, I don't plan on the New World Order getting to be like 25,000 people like it in real life. Honestly, right now, short-term and long-term plans at the moment, Regal's probably going to be the last one to join anytime soon. Maybe there might be some shifting in the long-term future, but especially short-term future, Regal's going to be the last one to join. I wanted Regal to join for a few different reasons, which you'll see play out. But I thought it would be smart for Regal to join them. So there you go. So now the New World Order has Steven Regal in its ranks. We'll have to see what that ends up leading to, because I mean that's huge. That is huge. And we'll have to see. I'll have to see what ends up happening. Also, because we're continuing to have huge stuff, continuing to have huge moments, we beat Roseanne. We finally passed the 7 million mark. Good for 4th on the night. So we had 7,009,783 viewers for Nitro this week. Raw had nowhere near amount of viewers, but it still was good enough for 6th on the night, so that's good for them, I suppose. They had a 73 rating, as they featured Brian Knobbs defeating Brutus and Jerry Saggs to retain the Intercontinental Championship. So Brutus and his Nasty Boy tag team partner. All right, why not? Also featured Team Pinnacle defeating Team Crime to retain the tag team titles. So there's that. Not a lot of your like big names happening on like showing up on this show, which is kind of weird. Kind of really weird, honestly. Yeah, I mean, you can see there, just, Michaels wasn't there, Taker wasn't there, like, a lot of weird missing people on this episode of Raw. But that is going to do it, as once again, WCW continues to just run like crazy here in the professional wrestling world. Thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are excited about the direction that WCW seems to be taking after Spring Stampede here, and we'll have to see how things continue to play out heading towards Slamboree 1997. So thank you all, and we'll catch you in a future video.